name is Edward. Firstly, I want to start my speech for a common phenomenon. In my daily life, I have noticed funny little habits we will share. It starts with a tiny button, skip intro. On Netflix, we skip. On YouTube, we watch at 1.5 times speed. It's not that we are impatient people. It's just that we want to skip the failure and get straight to the best part. So we simply prefer speed. We prefer optimization. The sociologist for the University of Columbia described modern life as an era of social acceleration. A steady pressure to do more per unit time. And the recent scholarship treat self-optimization not as a short-term fad or self-help trend, but as a broader social paradigm tied to studies and performance norms. Let me show you two simple graphs. Graph A is a straight line. In economics, this is efficiency. It's the shortest path. Graph B is a winding, uneven road with many setbacks, but it still leads to the destination. Actually, this is the real life. The problem is we are constantly trying to force graph B to look like graph A. Why? Because we have started viewing our lives like a business project. In business, the ultimate enemy is friction. Think of Abbott's one-click ordering. It's brilliant because it's removed the friction of paying. The goal is to get the results without the process. And here's the problem. We are treating ourselves like spreadsheet. We track our hobbies like performance metrics. We want the output of good time without input of time. We can see this everywhere. We use apps to summarize a whole book into 5 minutes clip. Efficient? Maybe. But are we getting whole experience or just the bullet point? We follow the blue line on Google Maps to find the fastest road. We never get lost anymore, but we rarely discover surprises either. We act like time spent is just the cost we to lower. This brings me to two critical economic concepts that explain why this mindset is failing us. The first is the law of diminishing marginal returns. In microeconomics, if you keep adding workers to our single assembly line, production initially goes up. But after that, the space gets crowded. Eventually, adding more stuff makes this worse. And guess what? We are doing the same thing to our brains. We convince ourselves that if we find one more hack, like blasting a podcast at double speed while answering emails on the treadmill, we will finally become a superhuman. But there's the tipping point. Past a certain point, all this automatically just backfires. Trying to wring out the last 5% efficiency from a day, this doesn't make you 5% happier. It's just burn you out. So it leads to the second concept, nonlinear value and the hidden cost of removing friction. In mechanics, friction is a cost. But in a human psychology, friction is a catalyst. Think of lifting weights at the gym. The physical resistance is exactly used with the muscle. The mental friction works the same way. When we read a Chan book, the efforts required to understand complex ideas build the neural pathways for deep comprehension. Some of the most valuable human experiences is fundamentally inefficient. Imagine applying the efficiency mindset to a romantic date. You exchange resumes and sign a contract. 100% efficiency, zero friction. But absolutely zero romance. When we eliminate this friction from these experiences, we don't optimize them. We halt them out. So what are we ultimately optimizing for? If we only seek to eliminate the friction, we risk reaching the end of lives having skipped all the struggles, only to realize those struggles were actually life. As AI and technology accelerate, machines will soon master the straight line of graph A. But our humanity doesn't live in our productivity. It's live in the inefficiency. It's live in the messy, unpredictable moment. The tears, the time we waste with loved ones, those cannot be fast forwarded. Let's optimize the chores, but leave unoptimized space for what matters. The next time you are tempted to press skip, ask yourself, what am I rushing toward? The ultimate destination, the end of life, is exactly the same for all of us. The true measure of life is not how efficiently you reach the finish line, but the moment you refuse to skip. Thank you all.